Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field, just about underway here in our ring ceremony here today. There's a look at the USPBL Championship trophy. The Unicorns will be awarded their rings shortly here as they take on the Westside Woolly Mammoths here tonight. Let's take a peek at your sponsors for today's game, presented today by Lucido and Manzella, and brought to you by the following partners as well: AAA, Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, the Detroit Medical Center, DTE Energy, Denim Sports, Dunkin' Donuts, Green for Life Environmental, Green Path Financial Wellness, Jimmy John's, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Summit Oral, and United Shore. We thank all those fine partners for their sponsorship of this fine league as well. Take a look at some of the highlights from that championship run last year now. Are they going to wait for us? They went really on that video. Oh, it is? Okay. Going early. What are they doing? Here's your public address announcer, Leo Ortel, for today's ceremony.
Gabriella Manzella and USPBL Commissioner and CEO Andy Appleby will do the honors. First up, Manager Jim Essien. Assistant Manager John Dombrowski. Number 1, Coley Curry. Number 3, Don Goodson. Number 6, Ashton Bardzell. Number 7, Ty Hensley. Ty Hensley is out in the bullpen. Number 8, Nolan Clenny. Number 12, Adam De La Cruz. Number 20, Malik Blaze. Number 25, Bobby Camadas. And last up is Luke Dawson.
Is that it? Want me to take it back? Cool moment here at the ballpark. I'm sure the Unicorns would have loved to have that great fan base that they have to be in attendance here today. Certainly the people in attendance will remember that moment for quite some time as well. We're going to send it to break. Come back with our pitcher comparison and starting lineups. The Opening pitch between the Mammoths and the Unicorns coming up next.
Order Jimmy John's and we'll bring it to your car door. Leave it at your front door or have it ready for you at our drive-thru. Just use jimmyjohns.com or our app to tell us what sandwiches, drinks, chips, and cookies you're hungry for. When you want it and how you want it. We're ready.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. A muggy start to this game here today. Let's take a peek at the starting lineups for tonight, presented by AAA of Michigan. As always, Frankie Luska leading it off for the visitors here today. He'll DH for Jim Essien squad. Dominic Bethencourt bat second. Coley Curry in the three-hole. Nick Snyder batting cleanup here today. Hovey, Ashton Barzell, and Derek Hurt will follow him. It's Jordan Finney at catcher here today. John Hodo will round it out and play second base with Ty Hensley on the bump for the defending champs. On the other end for the home Westside Woolly Mammoths here today. Garrett Kieber leads it off and plays short. Will Johnson batting second, trying to pick it up in that position here today. We know he can. Lamar Briggs, Scott Capers, and Alec Oland batting in the heart of the order. Ross Haffey, the imminent number 6 hitter for the Mammoths, continues to swing a hot bat so far. Landon Barnes to follow. It's Isaiah Cullum, Jamal Howard at the bottom, as well with Tasker Strobel on the bump here today. Take a deeper dive into that pitcher comparison presented by Denzo here today. There is Ty Hensley, Dan.
Well, there's not much we can say about him that we haven't already said. He's been straight up dominant all season. There's really not much else that he has to prove here. There's, like I said, there's not much else we can say. I mean, maybe if he could cut down on the walks a touch, if we're really going to nitpick. But it's a .64 ERA. How much can we nitpick at him? I'm curious to see the other side of that matchup too. Tasker Strobel has been really strong out of the bullpen, especially against left-handers. He gets a ton of swing and miss on his breaking ball. I don't know how much we're going to see him stretched out today. Maybe he's only going to go 2 or 3, but he's been really effective, and I'm excited to see that part of the matchup too.
Tasker hasn't really started much in his pro career, but he did that all throughout college and had some pretty good numbers. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the starting lineup here tonight as well. You see Frankie Luska DHing, a little bit of a change for Jim Essien's lineup. He's not going to catch every game, but he's trying to learn that position progressively. As you get a look at a shot of the skies here today, they are pretty imminent. We had the tarp down several times. I mean, you were part of, 3 tarp poles here today?
I was. I didn't know I was going to be a part of it until I got here, and I was wearing my nice new white shorts, and that was a really bad choice, especially because JJ was out there with us in the mud, and he wanted to play. So that was a tough. That was a tough choice on my part. I should have gone with the black clothes today.
Get the shout out right after the game. Get it in the wash and onto those pants.
Yeah, for sure.
Time to take a look at your keys to the game. What do you have today?
Well, I think it's silly to not name Ty as a key just because he has that ability to take over the game by himself. That's been the case probably 6 or 7 times in a row here, and I'm sure it makes me sound a little bit boring naming him as a key. But I still want to keep an eye on the 2 hot hitters for the Mammoths also. The catcher, Capers, and Ross Haffey, who's at first base. And I'm looking forward to seeing them match up against Ty Hensley. That's power against power type matchups. Haffey's been hitting .333 in his last 10 games with 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Capers hasn't been here long, but he's hitting .400 with a double and 2 home runs. So I'm excited to see that matchup.
First pitch is next here on the USPBL Network. Don't go anywhere.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
Tasker Strobel trotting out here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He'll be caught today by Scott Capers. We're hearing Tasker also has a curveball, which we haven't quite seen. That's not a huge surprise, given that he's only had relief appearances so far this year. We've seen the two-seam, we've seen the four-seam, slider, and a changeup. Probably the most of anybody in relief in terms of pitches so far, even without the curveball.
Yeah, I don't know that we've noticed a huge difference between his two-seam and his four-seam either. It's the thing that really moved the needle so far has been his slider. So hopefully we'll see plenty of that still today. And, you know, I don't know if he plans to throw his changeup much. We really haven't seen that much either. What's going to neutralize the righties is the question. You know, will he keep throwing the slider in on them and crowd them with it a little bit? As a starter, it's always going to be a little bit of a different type of an arsenal, and how much will he get spread out today? Who knows? But, you know, 3-4 innings probably is the max.
Game time temperature 75 degrees, humidity 89%. And Dan, if you look at this radar, we're hearing, you know, the window is still around 8:30, 9:30, but look at this huge
nasty
dot of red. I mean, that's not coming until 1 a.m., but just think about that when you wake up in the middle of the night. That's what you're going to be hearing.
We're going to be hearing it, sure. So as long as we have our window, that's all I really care about. I know, you know, downtown they had a doubleheader scheduled for earlier and banged the whole thing. So it's they must not have felt very confident about getting anything in.
We understand Derek Hurt's grandfather, Driscoll, checking in here today from Kansas. Not on social media, but he wanted Tammy to tell us. So hello to Tammy and Grandpa Driscoll as well. Paulette Emery also watching. Jerry Parrott in the building here today, according to the Facebook chat. Celestine LZ, constant listener, watcher on YouTube, says, congratulations to the Unicorns on their 2019 championship. Ring ceremony here today at the top of the show. If you missed that, you can certainly rewind or catch it on the archive after things have wrapped up here today. First pitch at 7:04 for ball one.
I wish I would have been at that ball game, that championship game. Sounds like they had a absolutely packed house that afternoon.
I was here. I actually called that game. Chad Bush here on the ESPN 3 at that point. This one is outside 2-0.
I'll have to give that. I'll have to give you a watch there. I'll find that on YouTube. I assume it's still up, right?
I think so. Yeah, that'd be a question for the people behind the scenes, but certainly, like you said, fun atmosphere all the way around with all the people here, and that's not something you see too often from Landon Barnes.
No, it's a very strange start to this game.
You think it took any kind of skip there?
I don't think so. We'll try to get another look at it there. He didn't really approach that ball as typical, which leads me to believe that maybe it did. Maybe it did take a funny hop somewhere.
A lot of diamond dry in that area.
There is.
Second look, I mean, we don't have a tight enough angle to see if it even took a micro hop, but
he tried to sort of scoop it on the side like an outfielder would, and he didn't really get his body behind it. Maybe a little bit of a nonchalant job, but there are some funny hops out there right now. I don't think the infield's playing as it normally does.
Ball one outside to Dominic Bethencourt. 250 start for Dominic on the year. Shows some good extra base pop as well as Get a good look at what Tasker Strobel is seeing with the leadoff by Luska. He's taking a healthy lead even with the lefty on the mound. 83-mile-per-hour changeup there for a swing and a miss.
I'm sure we'll get more of a chance to see Tasker's move today. I don't know that we've seen him throw over a lot yet in his previous outings. Hasn't really let anybody on base hardly.
Last appearance on the 23rd against the Beavers. All 3 appearances out of the pen thus far. An inning and 2/3, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. One and 2 on Bethencourt now. The pitch. Little flare into center field for a base hit. So an error and a single has led to some action here against Tasker Strobel. So he's challenged in his first USPBL start. Had a good amount of starts at the Division I level his junior and senior year at St. Joseph's in Indiana, a college that is now closed. 26 appearances, 22 starts, 145 innings, 3.71 ERA in total, so those numbers aren't bad at all. All his stops so far, and Vera's independence must have just thought he looked better in the pen and could help the team better that way.
You could see it with that nasty slider. You know, somebody who's watching him probably thinks about how tough he would be on lefties, and certainly makes sense to use him situationally.
38% swings and misses on that slider. That's something. And
not bad.
Given it's a small sample size,
sure.
you know, just nearly 4 innings, and that is going to allow him to advance to third base if he gets there.
That's kind of a bad break there on Scott Capers. That wasn't a bad throw. It's just the way he dove back into the base. The ball hit his foot.
You like the aggressiveness. Get a second look at it on our YouTube monitor. Good pitch to throw on high and in, and yeah, just kind of juggled off the cleats. And now 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-0 count on Coley Curry, a guy who's been swinging it much better of late. Did snap his 5-game hitting streak in the last game they had against the Hoppers on Wednesday. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 3-0 to Curry. There's your lead runner in Luska. Green lighting there. We have seen a few more aggressive plays and calls, whether that comes from the player or the manager. High and tight. Now the pond is full of ducks with no outs to begin the first.
Well, this certainly wasn't an ideal start for him, but we talked a little bit yesterday about how much that first error can kind of throw you, and so important to turn the page after that.
So here's Nick Snyder, not a guy you want up with the bases juiced and no outs.
That's for sure.
3 home runs this year.
You don't want to have to throw him a strike, because he will chase on occasion for you, but if you're in a position where you have to throw him a strike, you can get burned.
.378 slugging. His 3 doubles also factor into that. Has driven in 14 runs thus far. Low at 84 with the 2-seam. The fastball has reached 91 miles an hour this year. The 4-seamer has. Throws the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer 64% of the time in his relief appearances, at least. Looking to get that call. He can. And now it's 3-0 on the second consecutive hitter.
Well, he's got the green light here, I'm sure. But you got to really love it.
He likes it up.
He does.
So if you're Strobel here, you're going to try to bury it inside. Not sure Capers knows that at this point. He's had Not too many starts there. Line drive, fared on the left field line. Lesko's around to score. Here comes the second run in Bethencourt. And that's a 2 RBI long single for Nick Snyder.
Took the long turn around first base, and then he thought better of it. Made the right choice.
Coley Curry ends up on third base as well.
He did a nice job at the plate there. He's got a 3-0 count. You looking one pitch, one location, got it, and didn't miss it.
There's Jordan Hovey now, 3 for 11 start. Does have 4 walks to only 3 strikeouts. Fastball in at 88 for strike 1. Air, single, walk, single, 2 RBIs for Snyder. The line against Tasker Strobel here in the first, and a 2-0 advantage. All it took was to give out a few rings for this Unicorns offense, I guess, huh?
Riding that high.
Infield slightly in here. Not sure they'll come home unless it's a real sharply hit ball. Here's the 0-2. Through, and now it's 3-0.
Well, they're just not letting up right now.
Well, Ty Hensley has seen some run support, but it really hasn't been at the beginning of the game.
Right.
And I guess when you draw it up, Dan, I mean, with the weather potentially being a factor here today, the most runs you can get, you're going to pile on.
Yeah, you got to pile on early. Although when you've got Ty going out there, you figure 3 is going to be enough.
Sure.
Maybe we can shut it down now. He's just not, you just get the feeling that he's not really fooling anyone right now. And, of course, pitching from ahead is really important. He's gotten behind a couple of times. The error certainly didn't help, but hasn't quite shown the same command that we've seen out of him in relief.
Susan Sykes-Sparling says, rooting for both teams tonight. We're host family to Tasker Strobel and Miguel C. Reno. Both pitchers, each on different teams. Go get them tonight, Tasker. Ashton Barnzell trying to continue the hit party here, and he does. My goodness. Bases loaded, still with no outs. It's already a 3-0 game.
The hit parade continues. This is about as much as we've seen the Unicorns swing early in a game. They've generally been slower starters, that's for sure.
I'm sure Jim Essien at third base loves it here.
Yeah, this is about as much company as he's had over there in one inning. You got a guy at the plate who's pretty quick. Tough to double up, but they're going to play him back in the middle. At this point, the Mammoths would be very content to take 2 outs, trade it for another run, just to take a step toward getting out of this thing.
Best fastball of the night was right there at 90 miles an hour for Tasker Strobel. He blew it by Hurt. That's for strike 2. Hurt, big game on Wednesday. Was hit by a pitch, stranded, but singled in the 7th inning and went on to score the game-winning run. And a 2-0 win for the Utica Unicorns, where they had the bullpen day. Comitas, Ellis, Dawson, Reno, Shanahan, Goodson, and Clenny all throwing in that game. Outside with the slider at 81-2 on Hurt. Hurt able to break his 6-game hitless streak with that single in the 7th inning. Rose his average from 204 to 218. Swing and a miss. Got him chasing that really good slider, his best of the night.
See, the difference in that at-bat is that he established his fastball early. He threw 3 fastballs for a strike early in that at-bat, and then he went to the off-speed and got him to chase. If not for commanding your fastball, your off-speed's not going to be as effective.
Here's Jordan Finney now, quietly improving his average. He's 3 for his last 8. And for a guy who doesn't play every day, that's kind of a big deal. Fly ball to center field. Olin had a good beat on it. Just kind of died out there, and able to tag up and score is Nick Snyder.
It's a good swing early in the count for a guy who hasn't been playing a lot, like you said. That backup catcher job is tough. You only get in there once every 3-4 days, or 3-4 games in this case. Not easy to get consistent at bats, and it's not even that easy to get practice swings sometimes, because you're catching all these guys on the side. You're doing a lot of bullpens. It's a tough job.
Snyder scoring his 10th run of the year. Collected RBI 15 and 16. That's the 4th batter here in the first inning as Hodo will make sure that they send everyone to the plate. 4 runs in. Back-to-back outs, so that's a positive for Tasker Strobel. There is nobody warming up. Oh, I take that back.
That's is that Glover?
It would make sense. The long man it is, Glover down there. 1-1 is high and away. You look at the availables here today. Not sure if John Murphy would be able to toss an inning, as he went 2 longer ones just because of all the strikeouts he had. I mean, he had 6 Ks.
He did walk 2, but he had the 6 Ks. He had good stuff.
So if Glover does come in next inning at the earliest, you're going to want 3 out of him, you'd think.
Right.
Days on Cole available. He's usually only a 1, max 2 inning guy, and Anthony Travato more of the specialist, so he's probably around 1 inning. They do have some of the starters potentially available in this game because they've not listed the starting pitcher for their next game on Sunday. So Ben McKendall floating out there, Jared Wright floating out there. If I had to guess, and this is off no hunch from anything we've collected, I'd say Wright maybe the first to go to if they needed somebody, really needed somebody.
I would agree.
The bases are loaded for the 3rd time this inning. Hovey to 3rd, Barnzell to 2nd, and Hodo down to 1st.
It's just not enough strikes here early on from Tasker Strobel.
Scorebook's getting messy already here in the first inning. Frankie Luska, the top of the order. 2 up now. He reached on an error back in the first. Came around to score, or here in the first, excuse me. Little line drive to left center field. That's going to get down and score at least 2 more runs. Fumbled out there. So Barnzell and Hovey are going to come home, and it's 6-0 Unicorns.
Well, they're pouring it on right now. And Ty better stay loose.
Paul Nickenbrugge kind of come out to the mound, and that looks like it may be it for Tasker Strobel here. Dante Glover coming on in relief of Tasker Strobel here. 6-0 in favor of the Utica Unicorns here off 5 hits. Take a look at Glover's numbers when we get back.
Detroit Mercy really models a value-based education. They focus a lot on service, which provides so many different experiences and opportunities. That allows us to tie in everything we learn, how to apply that outside of the class.
There are a number of different programs that we're a part of to help bring the community back and revitalize the city of Detroit. Doing service with the community really helps bring Detroit Mercy outside of the gates and to everyone.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Dante Glover, your Hoffman Dental pitching change here in the first inning.
Glover's done a nice job all season. He's been kind of a long relief type. Doesn't have an overpowering fastball. You know, 85, 86 type fastball. Has a changeup and a slider. But really lives off of his fastball for the most part. He's very dependable with it. Throws a lot of strikes, and has done a nice job so far. 2-0 with a 3.24 ERA.
has had a few long appearances out of the bullpen. He had that 1 3-inning outing. Has worked 2 innings twice. Actually, I'm confusing him with Quincy Jones. He was the one that had that 3-inning outing. Similar roles that these two play.
Yeah, Quincy, I think, may even still be a taxi squad guy. I'm not sure if he's got assigned to a team yet or not, but Dante's kind of settled in with the Mammoths here.
8 1/3 innings on the year, all in relief. There's a line drive to center, hit while carrying to the gap in right center field, going to get by. Oland scores 1 run. Here comes the second. It's Luska hightailing around third, and he will score. And it's a stand-up double for Dominic Bethencourt. My goodness.
Wow. This is what we've been waiting for from the Utica Unicorns. We haven't seen this type of an offensive onslaught from them. They're just swinging with a lot of confidence today.
And now Coley Curry will bat for the second time. He's the 12th man to the plate here in the first inning.
Ty Hensley's got to be thinking, come on, guys. You know I don't need this many. Let me go out there.
Go out there and throw no hitter. This one is in for strike 1. The Rally Gooses, they're flying over the ballpark right now in right center field. How about that? They're everywhere. Look at that. And those ducks, too.
There's another set here closer to us.
1-0 is in there for strike 1. 1-1 here on Coley Curry.
Glover will throw strikes for you.
Swing and a miss. Slider 2. 2 outs in the inning. Strikeout and a sac fly. Those were recorded back-to-back, so it looked like maybe Tasker Strobel will get out of the inning at that point. Everyone in the lineup has scored besides Hurt and Finney, and Finney accounted for the run of the sac fly as well. Second strikeout of the inning. Coley Curry goes down here in the first. They send 12 to the plate. What an inning for the Utica Unicorns.
You're going through a divorce in Macomb County. You need an attorney who will fight to get you what you're entitled to, preserve your parental rights, and protect your finances. You need Vince Manzella and the team at Lucido and Manzella on your side. Vince grew up in Macomb County. Vince knows the people in Macomb County. Vince understands the Macomb County court system, and he aggressively fights for Macomb County residents every day. Lucido and Manzella, 586-228-3900.
As we continue to respond to COVID-19 in our communities, Ascension Michigan is with you in this, and we are doing what matters to keep you safe in our care. At our hospitals and sites of care across the state, Ascension Michigan has additional safeguards in place. We are limiting visitors, ensuring proper social distancing in our waiting rooms, offering more online visits, and performing rigorous procedures to clean and disinfect. Our care teams are delivering babies and performing surgery. Now more than ever, it's important not to delay your health care. Schedule your appointments. Make sure children are getting their vaccinations. And if you have an emergency, don't wait. Go straight to your closest Ascension ER. Thank you for continuing to protect yourself and our community by washing your hands, wearing a face covering, and social distancing. Our doctors, nurses, and staff are ready for you when you need us. This is what we do best.
Ty Hensley with a smile because his offense got him 8 runs in the first inning. They sent 12 to the plate, mostly off hits, Dan Griesbaum Jr.
Well, that's certainly a change for him, isn't it? He's used to pitching 0-0 ball into extra innings or something, something of that nature. So we'll see. I know he came in after a rally one time previously, but that was 4 or 5 innings into the ball game, if I recall correctly, and he had to sit for a while.
Let's take a look at the defense behind him here today. It's Hurt and Barzell in the corners. Curry patrolling center field here tonight. Bethencourt and Snyder on first and third. Hodo and Hovey, your double play combination up the middle with Finney receiving. Ty Hensley here tonight. Antonio Torres no longer on the Unicorns anymore, so there's a little bit difference in the receiving for Ty Hensley maybe going forward.
I think they did run out his preferred catcher defensively, probably, with Finney. Luska doesn't have as much experience catching yet. He's DHing tonight.
Garrett Kieber, Will Johnson, Lamar Briggs, your Zach Hart agency 3-men due up here in the first inning, and they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, if you're the Mammoths, you got to resist the urge to try to get a whole bunch back at once. Try to put some good at-bats together. Chip away.
First pitch ball outside at 91 miles an hour. Fastball, power curve, changeup cutter for Ty Hensley.
91's been about the average for him. He can dial it up there, though.
And we've seen him do that in a couple different occasions in that one inning. You look at his velocity in the 6th inning, his last inning in the last start, you saw 92, 93, 95 even.
Right.
And he says, I can do that pretty much at any point as long as I'm coming out of the same arm slot and staying consistent with what I do.
Oh, Justin Verlander went through that, a little bit later in his career, where he would try and just settle in early in the ball game and throw strikes and not really dial it up velocity-wise until he got a few more innings down the road.
It's a skill in its own.
Definitely.
Well, Westside riding a 4-game winning streak says, what just hit us?
Right.
Haven't seen anything like this. They beat these Unicorns in that streak back on August 19th. Started with a 4-3 win over the Diamond Hoppers. He didn't lose anything from his warm-up pitches, which were probably nearly a half hour ago.
Right.
Will Johnson trying to change the fortunes here. 179 average for Will, 6 RBIs. Look at that flag in right center field, now blowing straight out. To be honest, I didn't notice. It wasn't doing that at the start of the game, but I don't think it necessarily had an impact on many of those balls. I mean, there was a lot of singles. There was some of the line drives towards the gap. Maybe on that last one that Bethencourt hit, it seemed to kind of carry.
Those pennants in left field are pumping straight away as well.
Here's the 0-1 on Johnson. Outside. Johnson playing left field again here tonight. Those leaves getting a breeze here today out in the outfield, separating the ballpark pretty much from the Clinton River. That was flowing pretty mightily as well, if you noticed. Some mud, I think, in the water.
It looked a little muddy, didn't it? Yeah. It reminded me of a dirtier version of Willy Wonka's river in the chocolate factory.
You didn't dive in like Augustus Gloop, did you?
No, it didn't look quite as appealing as the one in the movie.
1-2 is up high.
JJ would do it, though, but God forbid we let him do that today. He would have been a mess.
Are you a traditional Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie all the way, or do you like the second one?
The Gene Wilder, 100%, yeah. The original.
2-2 poked away.
I thought Johnny Depp was a little bit of a too creepy of a version for me. He's a terrific actor. I like a lot. I like other Johnny Depp things. Donnie Brasco is one of my favorites, but he wasn't quite. I know that some parts of his movie are more true to the book, I believe. But I'm a Gene Wilder guy.
This one up high, 3-2 on Will Johnson. Here's the pitch. Popped him up. Down the first base line, Snyder. For out number 2. Lamar Briggs look to break a possible 1-2-3 inning here for Ty Hensley. Scott Capers, your Zach Hart agency man on deck. On the ground, third base side. Wow, a charity hop for Bethancourt as he shows off that arm. Not sure if it didn't hop directly to him, he had any chance to get that ball down the third base line. Snappy 1-2-3 frame for Ty Hensley leads us directly into our Freaky Fast trivia, presented every game by Jimmy John's. Here you go. What is the most recorded hot dogs eaten in one sitting?
Well, it's got to be Joey Chestnut, right? Or 74? I think 74. I did watch it this year, so I'm pretty sure it was in the 70s.
That's your final answer?
Yeah, 74. Final answer.
Bingo.
All right.
There you go. Back on the board.
I do watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest with the kids every year.
Be something interesting to announce, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be interesting to announce. It's kind of a carnival barker type that they have do that. It's not quite the baseball play-by-play man style. More of like an auctioneer almost.
Well, our friend Randy Dobnak of the Minnesota Twins organization has started to sell some T-shirts of his outline, if you want to say, his stash and his glasses. You can check those out at GreatLakesBatco.com. Again, GreatLakesBatco.com. You look at some of the options there. A portion of each sale will go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So look at Randy giving back to the community already.
Excellent. I was looking forward to seeing him face the Tigers today, but I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I assume he'll still be going tomorrow. How long are they in town? Is it one more day?
I believe so, yeah. That's quite the layoff in general.
Yeah, it's tough to make up games, with the setup that they have right now.
Nick Snyder doesn't seem like he should be up, does it?
It doesn't.
Nick Snyder, Jordan Hovey, Ashton Barnzell. He's up again.
Well, he's definitely let off the second inning before. We've definitely seen that.
True.
But we've already seen him hit once. That's the unusual part.
Because 12 batters came to the plate against Tasker Strobel and Dante Glover combined. Glover facing just 2 batters, gave up a double, which scored 2 more runs, and struck out Coley Curry to end what was a monster inning. Take a look at the defense behind him. Johnson, Olin, Howard in the outfield. Briggs, Kieber, Barnes, Haffey on the infield left to right, and Capers completing the battery here tonight. Capers has looked good in all fashions so far.
He has. He's every bit of a professional catcher back there.
Popped him up. Down the first base line, Haffey. Oh boy, the wind may be playing with that.
That looked like trouble from the second he camped under it. He said, wow, you could see it on his face.
Throw that grass blade up in the air.
Right. I used to do that.
Jordan Hovey, 1 for 1 today, as most are, for the Unicorns. Single and an RBI in the first inning. He scored. Only men did not reach Derek Hurt, Jordan Finney, and Finney had the sac fly, so his at-bat was productive. Strobel 33 pitches in his 2/3 of an inning outing. Glover just 5 to navigate out of it in the end. And this was the issue that Stroll had, was getting ahead of hitters. He fell behind Coley Curry 3-0 and Nick Snyder 3-0, the meat of your lineup. That's never going to translate very well, no matter who you are on the mound. There's a 4-pitch walk with 1 out here in the second. Ashton Bardzell, big part of that first inning as well. Single and a run scored. He's got a hard hit percentage of 44% this year. Hard hit percentage measures balls 95 and above that you hit. And to put that into perspective a little bit, since they've been tracking that stat in Major League Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton has a career hard hit percentage of 48.7. So that's pretty good out of Bardzell. The average isn't going to tell the story lately. He's hitting .203, but it's gotten better. Here's the 2-0. Fly ball to center field. That's going to chase Olin back to the gap, to the wall. Bangs off the wall there. Hovey going to camp in at third base as Bardzell has himself a stand-up double. Boy, with a win here today, I thought that might have a chance to get out.
Well, that was certainly a hard hit ball, wasn't it?
It was. Off the bat at 87. Seemed a little bit more than that. Maybe the win.
Yeah, I think the, just with the trajectory of it might have been a little bit deceptive, but off the bat, it seemed like it really jumped off the bat.
It's almost like our rule for the final score prediction should be invalid after the first inning. Then,
well, I think I've advised this before, but wait until the last possible second before you make your prediction.
Derek Hurt strikeout swinging back in the first inning. 4 walks to 13 strikeouts on the year now. He does have an on-base percentage of .317. He's racked up multiple hit by pitches so far this year. Takes a good hack at an 86-mile-per-hour fastball, knocks it back to the screen. Jordan Finney, John Hodel, your Zach Hart agency men on deck here in the second inning. And out recorded, it was the first out of the inning, but since a walk and a double, that's just how the day has gone for this Unicorns offense. 7 hits on the board thus far. 1 error on the other side for the Mammoths as well. That was to lead off the inning. It was one that Barnes normally makes. 2-1 is foul. So Ty Hensley again waiting around. He pitched a 1-2-3 first inning, strikeout, pop-out, ground-out. Looks like Anthony Travato is now warming here for the Mammoths. They might just have to bring out one of those starters here tonight if this keeps going like this. Here's the 2-2. Popped him up. Haffey leaves it off for Barnes for out number 2.
I think any type of change of pace is probably what the Mammoths are looking for right now, and Travato might just be a little bit unorthodox enough to help out right now.
And that's a guy, obviously, who hasn't been stretched out this year, but the motion that he throws at can, you know, if they want to, probably give you 2 innings.
Sure.
Just because that's going to be less taxing naturally. That's why you see softball pitchers go 150 and sometimes pitch the next game.
The one thing that you can't do from the side, at least most people is throw really hard.
Sure.
You know, that's the hardest thing to do is to get up over 90 from that angle.
And that's why you see those guys generally not start games and not pitch long, because they're trackable. But coming in a situation where you've seen over the top or three-quarter throughout the whole game, and maybe even 96, 97, and when you talk of the big leagues, it can be a disorienting jump the opposite direction. Finney looks at strike 2.
That's a tough pitch on Finney right there. Slider down and in.
So Dante Glover 1 strike away from stranding 2 runners in scoring position that reached with 1 out here in the second. Here's the 1-2. Way outside at 88 with the fastball that time. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring the call here tonight. All Unicorns thus far. Now the count fills. A real good amount of viewers here today. Maybe some of the normal viewers for the Tigers and what was scheduled in a doubleheader coming back to us here today. So we welcome anybody watching from wherever you may be watching from. If you're new, tell us what state too, because we're trying to compile those numbers. 3-2 on Jordan Finney. The pitch popped him up. Going to be shallow right field. Howard going to record the third out here.
That would have been ball 4 right there.
So a walk and a double is stranded at second base with 1 out here in the second. Dante Glover does a nice job to stick with things here. Now time for your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot here today.
Oh, Lance almost, I don't know if you could see that on the screen or not. I think it just missed the screen, but Lance almost walked right into Ty Hensley. That would have been a tough start to the race. They better give Lance a big head start. I think he's...
So he gets the head start here. Lance was a little full of himself the last time to put
he
in.
Was. He had a good lead, and then he started to celebrate a little early.
That's a good burning start for that young man.
Yeah, this young man's not heel-toeing it like Lance is. He's sprinting.
Got the Unicorns gear on, trying to beat his favorite team as he rounds third base nicely. Oh boy, the zigzag around Lancelot there, and is able to come home and beat him in the end.
And a high five for the
Shows
catcher.
his nice vertical there as well. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
DTE Energy customers can get their share of huge lifetime energy cost savings. How? By using our website. The Oslin's new programmable thermostat saved them a bundle. And their new efficient furnace earned them a hefty rebate. All over Michigan, people like the Oslins are saving. Why not you? There are always new ways to save at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE Energy.
There's Ty Hensley on for his second inning of work here tonight. His first strikeout, pop-out, ground-out, pretty efficient, even after he had to wait a long time since warming up in the bullpen. He faced only 3, but his squad sent 12 to the plate in the first inning, 5 more in the second.
Well, a couple of those at-bats I've been looking forward to are coming up this inning. Scott Capers, Ross Haffey, guys who've been swinging a really hot power bat. Like to see that power-on-power matchup.
Talked to Ty before the game. He said, just want to start executing a little better with 2 outs. That can explain maybe some of the walks. He's really glad to see that velocity tick up a little bit more. Thinks he made some strides with his changeup and his cutter. Just throwing it more, he said. In terms of the breakdown on the year, 62% fastball, 23% curveball, 7% changeup, 7% cutter. It's the most swings and misses on the changeup, given the less numbers. The fastball's at 12.5%, the changeup at 15.6. Actually, I take that back. The cutter has a 17% swing and miss percentage. 2-0 popped him up weekly. Hodo, Bardzell. It's Bardzell. 4 up, 4 down.
I'm sure it's hard for him to really think about throwing his changeup and his cutter so much because he's so effective with the other two pitches. You know, it's almost like if it ain't broke, why fix it? You know, he's really got to force himself to use those other two just for development purposes. It's not like he has really needed them to get guys out.
And certainly at the major league level, you're going to need that.
Sure, especially if you're starting.
And it's not outside of the imagination to think about that at this point.
No.
Maybe the further we get into the MLB season it is, as Bethancourt will boot this one at third base. Should be an error with 1 out here in the second.
No perfecto today.
But in terms of what we speak of there, I mean, anybody who's playing baseball right now, especially at the highest level, as Nolan Clenny is, Ty Hensley is, there's not a lot of leagues, there's no minor league baseball, so you have to come from somewhere if there's a major injury and you need somebody off the taxi squad. Obviously, that's why the taxi squad is there, but
have they been replacing guys on the taxi squad when guys get called up to the major leagues? I can't say that I've really paid real close attention to that.
That I don't know for sure.
And if they do, where are they getting them from? I assume they've got to be going to independent ball in general. You don't want to go to somebody who is your own guy but hasn't been pitching, I wouldn't think.
Pitchers, no, I could see them maybe doing that position-wise. And there's a balk for Hensley as Oland trots to second.
You know, I was reading my stat sheet there. I didn't see what he actually did. Did you catch what he...
Not incredibly either, to be honest.
I'll try to watch the monitor here.
Here's a 1 out, a half. He popped him up. This one foul territory for Snyder, dealing with that wind that Ross.
Yeah, that is a swirling wind. My gosh. Yeah, it looked on that pickoff like he kind of hesitated and then moved his feet to pick. It looked like it might have been just sort of a false start. A balk can really be called on anything deemed that was done to or outside of your normal routine, something that's done to deceive someone outside of your normal routine. So stopping and starting if you don't normally make that motion could be one of those things. But it's tough. It was tough to tell exactly. Ty didn't complain though.
Ball 1 on Landon Barnes here. Isaiah Cullum would be next. He's your Zach Hart agency man on deck. Last 4 games for Landon Barnes. He's 4 for 10 with 4 RBIs. 2 walks compared to just 1 strikeout. Up high at 89. So it's Barnes, Cullum, and Howard.
It's good to see Isaiah Cullum get a couple starts in a row. His playing time's been a little bit spotty.
Here's a 2-0. High at 86, so the fastball velocity isn't quite where we've seen it lately. That could be for how much layoff he's had in between his warm-ups, so.
Sure.
Saw him lose some of his velocity in that big inning the Unicorns had in the middle of the game at one time, as that one escapes Finney behind home plate, allows Olin to advance to third. And now first and third with 2 outs here in the second. Jordan Finney will go out and talk with Hensley here. If you're just tuning in, you missed a lot of offense. 8 runs in the first inning by the Utica Unicorns. First pitch to Cullum, in for strike 1. Isaiah 2 for 20 at the plate. Has drawn as many walks as he struck out, those 6 and 6. Olin on third base because of the error to Bethencourt, the first on the Unicorns. Each team has one. And then Barnes on first base because of the most recent walk. Here's a 0-2. Nice pitch on the outside corner.
Nasty.
Curveball. See you later. And the second strikeout here for Ty Hensley. 8-0 lead for that team.
Hi, I am Allison with the Sports Performance Tip of the Game, brought to you by DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With so many options to choose from for a drink after a strenuous workout, which would you choose from? A, chocolate milk, B, a sports drink, or C, a soda? Well, if you said chocolate milk, you are correct. Chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates and proteins and is a great option to replenish the fuel needed after a very hard workout or competition. It has double the value of a lot of the normal water or sports drinks and is a great option. Within 15 to 20 minutes after your workout is a very important time to replenish the fuel and set you up for success for that next training session. So don't forget to reach for a nice cold glass of chocolate milk after your workout.
It's the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event going on now at Crest Lincoln. Schedule your remote experience today or visit us here and learn what it means to have vehicle ownership on your terms.
Find some peace this summer in the luxury of the 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. Lease today for only $359 per month. Or drive in comfort and style in the 2020 Lincoln Continental. Lease today for only $361 per month.
Make a summer memory today. Visit us at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights or shop now at crestlincoln.com.
Dante Glover back on for another inning of work. His second complete. He did come on in the first inning to record the final out for Tasker Strobel. And the second, leadoff pop-out by Nick Snyder, then the walk by Jordan Hovey, and the double by Ashton Bardzell. Put runners on second and third with only 1 out, then a pop-out and a fly-out later, and Glover was able to get out of it unscathed and keep this game 8-0. Ty Hensley saw his first base runners in the last half as well. He reached on an error and a walk. Otherwise got his second strikeout of the game off a nice curveball to get out of that first and third jam. Hodo's got some speed. Watch out here. Some miscommunication, and that nearly cost him, but the arm of Briggs saves the day.
I think he beats that out if Keeper takes it. Briggs just had a better angle, and he has a strong arm coming into the play, and they had to hurry to get him on that.
Take a peek at the replay here. Briggs, quick exchange. Haffey able to climb the ladder a little bit, but that's the benefit of having that big target over at first base.
Nice big target.
And that's one reason why they want to have this man catch right here, because he's not, the tallest first baseman out there. That's kind of primarily where he played in college.
It's really tough in pro ball to have a future at first base. You just have to hit with such power consistently.
Their solid single he's gotten on in every appearance so far. That's already 3 times up there. Reached on an error in the first, scored, singled, and drove in 2 RBIs, and now another single here in the third as well. Give me one of the lower exit velocities you'll see off the bat of Leska. Kind of died off the bat, but 68.8, he got it to where he needed it to go, though.
He's going to hit enough to advance as a catcher. If he can really learn that position and become defensively strong at that position, he's got a chance to keep playing.
First pitch to Bethencourt, swings through an 85-mile-per-hour fastball. He put a charge into his last double that plated 2 runs in the first. A double and a single, also scored a run, and his 2 ABs in that same inning. Pops this one short. Everybody converging. It's Johnson who squeezes the second out here quickly. I want to have some quick innings. Issue, though, you try to turn it back over to the offense, and you're facing a guy like Ty Hensley.
Yeah, it's very easy to feel defeated probably right now for the Mammoths.
I don't care how mentally tough you are. All things considered, 8-0 deficit. On top of that, facing a guy with a .64 ERA. Really the only opportunity for traffic on the base paths this year against him is walks. Does have 17 walks compared to 51 strikeouts, but still he's shown that he's stranded those walks more often than not. 6 of his 8 starts this year have been scoreless, and we're not talking about cheap, 2, 3, 4 inning starts.
Right.
We're talking 6, 7 every game almost.
Aside from that first night, I think he went 3, but after that, he's been going deep into games. Oh.
Wow, he nearly got to that ball.
He's been really good going after those balls. He couldn't quite get to that one, but he's been very good. That's a long way to go.
And that's one, too, as a third baseman. You got to read it pretty well because you got to take a direct route to it. Otherwise, you're not getting it.
And the left fielder's really got no chance on that ball. So it's either him or nobody.
Even before he dove, I was skeptical that he would have a chance at it, but he did.
He did. I don't know how many guys would have had a chance at it, though. He's pretty good at going after those.
Here's the 0-2. Whittled foul, Coley Curry in the first. A walk in his first at-bat came around to score, and then the strikeout. Leska has scored twice tonight. Bethencourt, Curry, Snyder, Hovey, Barzell, and Hodo have all scored once. There you look at the one-out base runner, Frankie Leska at first base because of the single here. Lefty on lefty, the 0-2.
Nice hang. It's a good hang there by Curry. Spoiled a good pitch.
Popped him up.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, it's right, and they drop it. Briggs is going to drop it. I laugh because originally Dante Glover had called it, and we just talked about that yesterday. How many times have you see the pitcher called off even when he does call it? At that point, you just got to let him take it, right?
Well, I think Briggs did the right thing coming to get it, but he dropped it. I mean, I think he was the right guy to take charge there. I don't think I don't see that as being Capers' ball. That's a very tough ball for the catcher to get. Anytime the catcher has to face center field catching a pop fly, there's a good chance that it's going to spin out of his glove just because of the way the ball is spinning and moving back toward the infield.
So it's an error. That's a really tough error on Briggs, but I'm assuming that's who it's going to be granted to.
Yes.
Snyder looks at a Ball just off the plate outside. First and second with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. I think the scoreboard operator even thought that when we caught, they cleared the outs on the board. 1-0 is
You won't do that again.
in there for strike 1. So the Unicorns have another base runner. 8 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. Now against the Westside Woolly Mammoths here tonight. Outside at 73 with the changeup there. Good block by Capers. Blocked that one nearly standing up. Capers a very good defensive catcher, but also showing his hitting skills early on in this league. Couple home runs, a double. Here's a 3-1. Fouled off. And this has been the trouble, not necessarily this inning for the Mammoths, but Mammoths pitching in general. There's been a lot of 3-ball counts. There's been a lot of falling behind hitters, and usually that's a recipe for runs on the offensive side. Full count pitch with everybody moving, and the pond is full of ducks for what, the 5th time in this game, I believe?
It could be.
Jordan Hovey trying to extend his good on-base percentage day. A single and a walk. To his credit, his 5th walk already of the year and 12 ABs.
Looks like Travato's still throwing down there.
We might see him come in, and Dante Glover can't retire the side here. Travato has not pitched long in any game so far today, but boy, if they can get 2 out of him, that would help a lot.
And if Glover could get out of this one, it would help a lot.
And that might be one of those situations, if it's past an 8-0 game, even if it stays 8-0 here, it's like, you know, this is our guy for 2 innings, whether he gets hit or not.
Sure.
Sometimes that's what happens out of the bullpen. Don't want to use a lot of arms considering you're playing on Sunday again, and you played yesterday. As you think about it, John Murphy has already gone to last night. Dazon Cole did not pitch, so
I'm sure we'll see him at some point, even if the game's out of hand by then.
Probably ideally an inning tonight, inning Sunday. Oh. Wow, that bat is flattened. Barnes over to first base, just
I haven't seen too many bats do that. I mean, that is splintered right down the middle.
Time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union here tonight. He was all over the tarp today, getting his sprints in, trying to mess with the crew pulling and putting on the tarp all afternoon long, yeah?
Let's see how he looks and see if he looks dirty. You can't really, I can't tell. It looks all right on camera. It's like it might have got cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks like it. Brushed.
He was having a good time out there, that's for sure. You should have seen the look of disappointment on his face when we were out there in right field, kind of, dumping the water off the tarp, and he was on the wrong side of the right field fence. You know, he was on like the home run side of the right field fence, and he looked at us as if to say, how could you guys not invite me to this tarp pull? Like he was just genuinely disappointed, almost like somebody not getting invited to a party or being asked to the dance or whatever. That's how he looked.
So getting some extra sprints in here today with the tarp.
He gets tired after these weekends now. You got the Friday game and then the doubleheader on Saturday and the Sunday game, and he gets worn out like anybody.
Eric on YouTube says, I hope that's not Jordan's new bat that just shattered.
Right.
That's never a fun feeling.
I did that once with a wood bat. First at bat with it, broke it.
There's Jamal Howard. It'll be him, Keeber, and Johnson, your Zach Hart agency 3-man doo-wop here in the 3rd inning. Reminder, you can chime in with us on Facebook and YouTube all night long in the chat section. Where did that comment just go that I was trying to read here? Stephen Harvey says he's watching from Wales in the United Kingdom.
All right.
So Jeremiah, hear that one and note it.
How did he find us?
Paul Lewis Snyder says he's watching from Sturgis, Michigan. So add the UK to the list of countries now. We've had a list of states developing, but countries, we've had, what, Australia?
Yep. Australia and Wales definitely are coming to mind now. I don't recall, did we have any others besides that?
I feel like we've had
Canada, of course, but
I feel like we've had one from Latin America, maybe at least.
Okay.
Swing and a miss here by Jamal Howard. Howard, the only Mammoth not to bat here today. Second inning for Ty Hensley, a little bit more rocky in terms of the base runners. Only one really his fault, though. Leadoff error on Bethencourt on the walk to Barnes with 2 outs, put runners on first and third, but he was able to strike out Isaiah Cullum on a perfectly located and bending curveball. Lazy fly ball. It'll plop in front of JJ's doghouse. Just foul. Fastball has been as high as 91 today. I believe that was in the first.
Until that one. It was at 93.
Back-to-back strikeouts now for Hensley. 1 up and 1 down. So he struck out 2 leadoff batters. Also got Keeper in the first, and he will come to the plate now. Keeper, Johnson, Briggs all coming to the plate in the first inning. Strikeout, pop out, ground out. One of the many 1, 2, 3 frames we've seen Ty Hensley capture this year so far. And you look at this year's stats to last year's stats for Ty Hensley, and they're not even comparable. And that's not to say that he had a bad year last year. He's just been going through so many tweaks here in the USPBL. And it's shown every game.
I think last year one of the goals was just to stay healthy and be durable and get a lot of innings under his belt. And now it's time to take that next step, and he's certainly doing that.
5.42 ERA last year through 78 innings. 49 walks to 75 strikeouts as strike 1 delivered to Garrett Keeper here. And you've kind of seen him hit those benchmarks this year. First it was get to 100 pitches. Next it was air it out.
Right.
And now it's get signed. Besides some of the subtle things that they will tweak to him along the way, as they do to everybody here. Second walk of the game coaxed by Keeper, his 9th of the year. Will Johnson trying to get on for the first time today. Pop out in the first. Did a little digging into Will Johnson in terms of why his numbers might be low and found some interesting things. He only swings and misses at strikes 5% of the time.
Not much.
That's very low. 87% contact percentage, though, on the other end when he swings. But his batted on balls in play is 207. So that, in general, for a good hitter is a sign that he's just not having luck. But when you put all those other ones together, I think that confirms it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just keep putting balls in play. They're going to fall. And as a hitter, it's just so tough to remember that. And, you know, it's a hard thing to swallow. You still panic.
Especially when you know you have so much to offer, like Johnson does. Both in the power department and the speed department too when he gets on base. 179 average entering play here today. A home run and 6 runs driven in. That one chopped foul. George Lang on Facebook says he's watching from Germany. What time is it in Germany?
Wow. I love it.
Jeremiah said that we've also had somebody from Brazil this year.
That's right. I think I do remember Brazil now that he mentions it.
It is 2:12 a.m. in Germany. Good morning.
Or good night, I guess, maybe.
Sure. Late night snack and some USPBL baseball. Off the glove maybe of Hensley. Fielded by Hodo in time to Hovey. Over to Snyder.
That was a beauty.
And the one-out walk is erased. And then some. Smooth 4-6-3 and around.
The difference that we bring to pediatric care isn't just the fact that we care deeply about our patients and want to partner with their parents in delivering the best care for their children, because a lot of pediatricians can deliver great care. What we do differently at Campground Pediatrics is we offer a different environment to deliver that care, and we offer personal service in a way that many practices can't.
Senior Spotlight, sponsored every game by Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. Tonight it's Andrew Herndon.
From Cousino.
There you go, the Cousino Patriots. We've had a lot of representation on that side of town, without a doubt.
I feel like we're going to cover their class of 2020 by the end of the season.
So congratulations to Andrew here today. Got some cornhole here. There's a spin to this game on the field, though. They're literally trying to get dizzy there on the
Dizzy bat cornhole, yeah.
The dizzy bat. Have we seen that? Is that new?
We have. No, we've had it a couple times.
Okay.
Yep.
Dizzy bat cornhole. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Because regular cornhole would be too easy.
Yes. They cover that on TV now. You ever caught that?
I have seen that.
Dante Glover out for another inning. Maybe one left in the tank here. That would do them a lot of good.
And Travado sits down for a little bit, I guess. He's been loose for a couple innings now.
It'll be Barnsell, Hurt, and Jordan Finney, your Zach Hart agency. 3 men due up here in the 4th.
Bardsell having a day so far.
6 men to the plate in the 3rd, 5 in the 2nd, 12 in the 1st. So it's been long layoffs every way that you look at it for Ty Hensley, but he's handled with charm so far here tonight. Bardzell single in the 1st, double in the 2nd. He scored his first time on the pass there in the first as that one popped up to right. The wind has died down a little bit, but maybe played with that one even a little bit to Howard for out number 1. So we've hit 8:15. Around this time is when we were worried slightly of when the rain might come in, but you look at the forecast, it's not all too bad.
It looks okay so far.
There's a very, very small rain cell that might come in, but not sure that that would stop play unless it was heavy. The heavy stuff, if you want to see a storm, wake up at 1 a.m. because that is proving to be a lot of red.
It looks like it stretches across Metro Detroit.
Yes, and down to South Bend. Yeah. Now don't say that you heard it from me. Don't, don't wake up and
we
look for it and it wasn't there.
We're not professional weathermen. We try to play them on TV.
You see this front coming in left to right. Is it?
Is that due to the atmospheric pressure or?
1 and 2 here on Derek Hurt. He is 0 for 2 today. The only unicorn not to be a part of a run in some fashion. Jordan Finney has not reached either, but he had a sac fly and an RBI back in the 8-run first. Here's the 1-2 again. Thought about it, and he did not go according to the appeal on the slider there. So credit to Dante Glover for gutting this out. He's not had easy innings either, but he's done a good job of stranding base runners, and now he has his second strikeout.
Derek Hurt looks like he's just guessing up there at the plate a little bit. That's a 84-mile-an-hour fastball that was just thrown right by him.
Jordan Finney trying to break up a possible 1-2-3 bid here for the Unicorns hitters. Could it be?
Probably not that you mentioned it now. That's, that's the way things go.
I don't think Ty Hensley would mind. He won't tell anybody on the offensive side. Hensley today got a big-time 4-6-3 double play from Hodo, Hovey, and Snyder. They look smooth on that one. 2-0 on Finney as he dances his feet there. Popped him up to short center. Olin and Barnes going after it. It's Olin who has it in stride, and Glover is able to coax a 1-2-3 inning here in the fourth. 62 pitches deep into his outing.
They called it the 1,000-year flood. They were having homes and businesses flooded, and the roads were being washed out.
My entire house is going to be flooded. Okay, do you have a second story?
A lot of fear that we were going to lose a lot of people. When we heard the police station was flooded, we immediately gave them our command center to operate out of.
Belfour was our savior. Sheldon and his team restored 25 of our businesses and more than 1,500 residences.
At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
Hometown Hero presented by Belfour. It's Doug Armstrong. In 2007, Doug Armstrong, a former nurse and clinical research director at the University of Michigan Transplant Center, founded North Star Reach. Prior to this, he had spent many years without pay setting up and tearing down a temporary one-week camp for children with organ transplants. Summer camp was a passion he discovered as a boy growing up in Michigan, and he wanted kids who face chronic or life-threatening illnesses, the very pediatric patients he'd spent years caring for as a nurse, to have a chance to experience the joys of camp as well. So aside from the arduous task of packing trailers with hospital equipment, medical supplies, and gear every summer, the sites were also far away from fully equipped medical centers, posing challenges for children who required advanced medical care as well. So after a decade of fundraising to help raise nearly $26 million in capital funds to build the medically sound camp camp from ground up. Armstrong realized his dream when North Star Reach welcomed its first campers back in 2016. North Star Reach, located in Pinckney, provides free camp experiences to kids ages 7 to 17 from throughout the Great Lakes area. Doug continues to serve as CEO of North Star Reach. That's awesome.
Did you say $26 million?
$26 million of fundraised dollars.
Impressive. A lot of hard work goes into that. A lot of hours.
Lamar Briggs, Scott Capers, and Alec Oland, your Zach Hart Agency 3 men due up here as Briggs looks at one low and outside. He's 0 for 1 today with a ground ball to third base. So just 3 base runners today for Ty Hensley. 2 walks and an error. The red alert has to be up, it seems like, every time that Hensley pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Two 2-0 on Briggs. The pitch. Bingo for strike 1 at 92. Second best fastball we've seen here tonight. Maybe the in-stadium gun a little hot as the flight scope says 90 miles an hour on that last one.
Sometimes the numbers match, sometimes they don't. It's a strange thing.
Where is the actual gun located in the ballpark
It's
here?
actually a great question. I never did ask anybody that.
It's down below, says Eric. So maybe out in the elements a little bit more than the flight scope is. So that can have an effect, certainly. Not sure if humidity plays a factor as Bethencourt throws it over to Snyder for out number 1. Where's all you scientists chime in on Facebook and YouTube?
Right.
Or do a research study for us. We'll air it here. Maybe Eric can do that as his senior project at University of Michigan. How does the heat and humidity affect a radar gun?
Radar
I'm
readings?
sure it ranges from every gun you have. I mean,
my father did a thesis on that was baseball related. It was I'll have to ask him the exact thing, but it had something to do with the effect of the hitter's success when the man on base is a good base stealer, something of that nature. So does a hitter have more success? Does a hitter have more success when there's a good base runner out there that the pitcher is worried about potentially?
so that did that go into like surveying pitchers and how they felt
I think it was
about
just it was just flat out statistics.
Okay.
I think it was I don't know what the constants were, if the man on base had a certain amount of stolen bases or something, or I'm not sure. Maybe he has it somewhere. Maybe I'll read it.
1-1 here on Scott Capers.
That was done in about 1975, I'm sure, so I don't know if he still has it. Chances are my mom typed that on a typewriter.
2 up and 2 down. That's 3 straight ground balls for Ty Hensley. Looks like Travano is again tuning up in the pen. I would venture to believe we will see him in the 5th. Dante Glover working some stressful innings. 3 1/3 in total. He dealt with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base runners. He did coax a 1, 2, 3, 4th. Here's the 1-0 up high. Be interesting to measure a certain guy's stress level, heart rate, whatever it would be with runners on base, and
Sure.
according to the situation,
Right.
game on the line, bases loaded.
I think it affects different guys differently. Certainly, clutch players, certain guys are known as being clutch players.
Jonathan Midoriya says he's watching from Brazil. So I'm not sure if you're a Brazil watcher from before, but either way, welcome. 3-0 is outside. 3rd walk of the game here for Ty Hensley, and that's exactly what he talked about before the game here today that he doesn't want to do.
Right.
Is kind of bear down with 2 outs.
Olin's been on twice now. Error and a walk.
He started to draw more walks. He had 3 last night alone.
It's very telling to me. You know, he had a problem with strikeouts earlier in the season, and you know that tells me that he's probably not chasing as many balls outside the zone as he did early on.
Well, sometimes it's just the role and the spot in the lineup you play too.
Sure, he's not in the leadoff spot anymore, so maybe that was a spot that wasn't real well suited to him.
Snyder playing behind Olin here with 2 outs. There's a dangerous hitter at the plate. Ross Haffey, his first time, popped up to the first baseman Snyder. Into the glove of Bethencourt at third base. Makes an error earlier, recovers on a line drive off the bat of one of the more dangerous hitters in this league.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank. And some say our business is all about money. But that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
You've been charged with a crime in Macomb County. You need an attorney who will protect your liberty and stand between you and the whole force of the government. You need Vince Manzella and the team at Lucido and Manzella on your side. Vince grew up in Macomb County. Vince knows the people in Macomb County. Vince understands the Macomb County court system, and he aggressively fights for Macomb County residents every day. Lucido and Manzella, 586-228-3900.
73 degrees currently here in Utica, Michigan. It's cooled off a little bit, and we don't have a great gauge of what it actually feels like. Our cameraman can tell us that better, but just kind of poking the hand out the window, maybe not as humid as when we started. And a lot of feedback that from our crew setting things up and everything, that it was real steamy after they took off the tarp and some of our rain chances went away. So Tasker Strobel is going to take over on the bump. A Hoffman Dental pitching change. Or Strobel started this game. It's Travado, I beg your pardon, coming in here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He'll pitch the 5th at least.
He's been very effective in his appearances so far. We've only seen him out there a couple of times, but he's got a fastball ranges from 85 to 88. Really strong slider with a very strong spin rate that gets a lot of swing and misses. Actually about a third of his pitches are swing and miss on the slider, so he's been very effective with that pitch.
John Hodo, Frankie Luska, and Dominic Bethencourt up here in the 5th inning. One and 0 on Hodo. Walk back in the first and a ground out. 2-0 on Hodo. Line drive to left. That's going to make its way all the way to the warning track, and that's an easy double for a guy with burning speed that John has.
He left that ball uncharacteristically up in the zone. He's been pretty good at keeping that down and flattens out a little bit when it's up there, and Hodo did a nice job to get on top of it and drive it into the corner.
The designated hitter here tonight will get his 4th AB. Reached on an error in the first, had a single and drove in 2 more runs a little bit later in that first inning. Also had a single in the third. That one was just nicely placed over the head of the second baseman, Barnes. Luska looks at a pitch outside 1-0. Travado, fastball, slider, changeup. Gets the most swings and misses on the change. That's 66%.
Low sample size, I think, on that.
He's only thrown it 10% of the time. As this one popped up behind the second base bag, and some miscommunication will lead possibly to an out at third. No, as Hodo sneaks in.
Olin's really got to take charge on that one and come in. That's really his ball there. It wouldn't have been an easy play, but it's definitely an easier play for Olin coming in than it is for keeper going out.
So first and third here with Dominic Bethencourt coming up. Dominic here today, a double in the first inning and a single. He drove in 2 runs and scored. Flew out his last at bat to left field in the third. Swing and a miss and an 86-mile-per-hour rising fastball there. It's one thing that a lot of these Sime Armors / Submariners will get is spin. 2309 on the fastball there. Corner infielders slightly in here. It's already a 8-0 game in favor of the Unicorns. No hits given up by Ty Hensley quite yet. 3 walks. Also had a base runner reach on an error as Bethencourt swings and misses for an 0-2 count. Coley Courier, Zach Hart agency man on deck here. Did he check it? He did. One through 6 in the order, all scored in that first. In addition to John Hodo at the bottom, and Luska was able to score twice. Here's the 2-2. Fill the count at full as that fastball rides high at 86.
He's been consistently up with that.
Bethencourt. Good extra base pop in this bat to start the year. He's already notched his 3rd double. 4 RBIs for him as well, as that is on the corner for strike 3.
He didn't like that call, and I don't blame him. That looked like it was out to me.
Coley Curry had a walk back in the first. Also reached on an error to the third baseman Briggs.
Nice tail on that pitch. Sidearmers do tend to get nice running action on their fastball, especially if they can keep it down in the zone.
On the ground to Haffey. Tags the bag. Another run will score. John Hodo comes across the plate as that will be the 9th run of the ball game here for the Unicorns. So Curry drives in a run here. Nick Snyder had himself a single and an RBI in the first, pop out in the second, and a walk in the third. Good slider there for strike one.
Really well located, too.
No action in the pen for the Unicorns, so not a surprise that we'll see Ty Hensley come out for his 5th inning of work. "57 pitches so far for Ty. A little bit more elevated maybe than we're used to, but with those walks, that'll do that. He's gotten up to 109 here today. That was on his no-hitter.
Yeah, like we said before, if we're going to nitpick Ty's outings, it's probably the walks that you're going to go after. There's really not much else to look at.
Another pretty good slider off the plate, 1-2 to Nick Snyder here. Jordan Hovey would be next, and then Ashton Barzell, your Zach Hart agency men on deck here in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Another nice slider. So after the leadoff double and the single, he records 3 straight outs. Unfortunately for Travato, a run does score. It was on the RBI ground out by Coley Curry. Just like that, the Unicorns have a 9-0 lead.
I enjoy renovating my home, so getting materials with my Chevy Silverado is a daily trip. But as the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever, it's perfect for all my projects. And with the most functional bed of any pickup, plus the power-up down tailgate, my Silverado helps me with everything I need. Of course, a little assist from a friend doesn't hurt.
Lease a 2020 Silverado Custom Crew Cab 4-wheel drive for just $323 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Want to hit your home cleanup project out of the park? Well, making sure that your driveway is safe from damage? Rent a rubber-wheeled trailer from GFL and keep all of your bases covered. Our trailers come in 20 and 30-yard sizes for all your cleanup needs. Call GFL today to order your driveway-safe rubber-wheeled trailer. Team GFL, helping you win your cleanup project.
Get to the game, sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan here tonight. It's Aubrey Rummel. She attends Tenniswood Elementary. 9 years old. Loves spending time with her family. So hello to Aubrey and her family here tonight.
Tenniswood. Wonder what the story is on that name.
I don't know. I was curious about that in the pregame show as well.
Is that somebody's last name, Tenniswood?
I don't know. Caitlin Moat says she's stationed and watching from South Korea.
Wow.
So hello to Caitlin. Maybe she'll catch some KBO action after this as well.
Are they hosting fans at those games? Like KBO? Limited?
Limited fans, and I was seeing on Twitter, I haven't followed it too closely, but at one point I think they had a little bit of a COVID outbreak among those players. I don't think they had to shut down, but it was talked about. Jordan Hovey Actually, Landon Barnes, Isaiah Cullum, and Jamal Howard will come up here in the 5th. Outside 1-1 on Landon Barnes. Walk in the 2nd inning for Landon. Popcorn into short center field. Nice play by Hodo.
He did a nice job to get back on that. That's a long way out there. That's almost regular right field, you know, let alone shallow right field. That's almost a regular depth.
Here's Keandre Jones. He'll pinch hits.
He can run into one.
So Jones and McCoy, the 2 on the bench available here today for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, as this one rains inside. Jamal Howard, power on deck. Trying to get something here against Ty Hensley. He's put up a big goose egg in the middle column.
That was the ball to hit right there for Keandre. He swung through it. He may not get another good pitch to hit after that one.
Here's the 1-1. Up high.
Been missing up a little bit.
We've seen upwards of 93 tonight on the fastball. That one was 89.5, according to FlightScope here to our left, as that one rides in at 90. 3-1. So Jones takes over for the spot of Isaiah Cullum here in the 5th inning. Cullum struck out looking. Swing and a miss.
That looked like his change down in the zone. Tough to tell to the naked eye. Change or the cutter?
Eric says change.
Okay.
Eric McKean up in the press box here. Here's the full count delivery now. Popped it up to right. Snyder has a long way to go. Ooh, he had a shot at it, but
good effort.
Just over the glove. Takes plays like that to pitch long in games and make some history. Not sure Ty Hensley will go the full distance today, though, as Donald Goodson is warming up.
How many are we at right now?
Pitch-wise,
yeah.
We are at 66.
Okay.
Swing and a miss.
So was that one the cutter?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Cutter and the change are about the same speed. They move a little bit different. It's tough to, with the naked eye, to tell which one's which sometimes.
The changeup was something early on in Ty's career that he had a great feel for, threw it a lot, but then he found the curveball and didn't really throw it much after that. But
it's tough not to like his curveball, that's for sure.
Resurfaced it here in pro ball.
When he throws that curveball on for a first pitch strike, it's like almost unfair because you know you're not going to swing at it. It's just puts you in a hole right away.
Spin rate of 29.21. And, you know, we were oohing and eyeing at that early on in the season, Dan, but his average is 2,900.
Yeah, it's just regular.
And that's...
We're just expecting it now.
And that's 400 over the Major League average of 2,500.
Right.
So that says a whole lot about what that features. There's a reason why it's called the power curve.
Right. Oh, literally screwed him into the ground there.
And you understand why. 1-2.
Howard doesn't get cheated in his swings.
Goodson has since sat down, so I don't know if that was just a bullpen or
Could have been.
Just getting loose just in case. 2-2 here on Jamal Howard. What does he go to now?
Fastball, I'd say.
And by him. 2 strikeouts here in the 5th inning. Another 1-2-3 breeze for the ace. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
When you need emergency care, you want your hospital to be ready for whatever comes through the door. Ready for any injury and any illness. Ready to respond at the speed of emergencies. That's why McLaren Macomb built a new emergency department. With advanced technology, clinical expertise, and 68 private exam rooms, we're Macomb County's largest emergency department, and we're ready for you whenever you need us. That's emergency care at McLaren Macomb. That's doing what's best.
Giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store. Hollywood Supermarkets. Giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. We have a special guest in the booth here tonight. It's Vince Manzella, and he's of Lucido and Manzella Law Firm, and they are the fine sponsors for the 4th year in a row of our championship ring. So we thank you guys for that, and certainly a fun thing for you guys to be a part of too, right?
You're welcome. We're so happy to be here.
You look at, the partnership that the USPBL has, with your firm. Just, give us a little bit on how that started and, what it's been like so far.
Well, it's all about relationships. Believe it or not, Brian Berryman, who was with USPBL in his first year, was a college friend of mine. He played at the University of Michigan baseball, and I played lacrosse at U of M, so we were friends back in the mid-'90s. I don't want to reveal my age. And Brian was out here, and he was working with Andy Appleby, and brought me in, and it's right down the street.
Sure.
We're off of Garfield, just a couple miles south of M59, and 10 minutes away, and came here, took a tour, and decided to get involved.
It's great stuff, and it's certainly a cool thing to be involved with. And you have the reigning champion in the Utica Unicorns leading 9-0 here in the 6th inning as Anthony Travato gets his 2nd inning of work. It's Jordan Hovey, Ashton Bardzell, and Derek Hurt, your Zach Hart Agency men on deck here. Virtual courts, something you guys are faced with lately. How much has that changed the game?
Well, I think the technology and the COVID crisis has changed going to court and being an attorney more in the last 3 months than we probably had in the last 15 years. It certainly makes it interesting, and it has its challenges, but it also has its benefits. I'm putting less miles on my car and spending less money on gas.
For sure. 2-0, or 1-1, I beg your pardon, quickly here on Hovey, and that will hit the back leg. Any indication on when that might change, or is that going to be the reality for quite some time now?
Well, I was in a hearing today, and we had a lunch seminar, and it seems as though it's probably going to be for the rest of the year, is what I'm hearing.
Do you guys get to kind of preview what these championship rings look like before they're presented to these teams here today? Have any stake in what they look like and how they're put together?
No, but they have always turned out awesome, and I'm just really thrilled to be part of the USPBL and the championship ring ceremony. I'm glad that my family's favorite team, the Unicorns, are 2-time champs out of the 4 years, so that certainly is good for the hometown here. 0-1
on Ashton Bardzell as he swings and misses at that 86-mile-per-hour fastball. So talk about the firm. Just, how long have you guys been around, and, what's the benefits to choosing you?
Well, we are local. We've been around for over 25 years. I haven't been with the firm the entire time, but we've been in Macomb County on Garfield and Clinton Township for over 25 years. We're local. We're a smaller firm. We know people and know what it's like to be a small business owner and to find yourself in an unfortunate situation where you probably need legal services. It's not something anyone dreams of, but you certainly want somebody in your corner, and we definitely have our clients' backs.
So you talk about your career at the University of Michigan in lacrosse. What position?
I was a long stick defenseman.
Okay. That's always I like watching those guys. Is it different to play with a longer stick like that?
Well, it is. It gives you a little bit of advantage as far as trying to play defense with it. It's a disadvantage if you're trying to score, but when you're trying to prevent somebody from scoring, the extra couple feet helps a lot.
Sure. There's a knock for a single to center field here by Ashton Bardzell. Hovey led off this inning with a hit by pitch, then the single by Bardzell here. Strobel started things for the Westside Woolly Mammoths here tonight. Dante Glover came in relief, pitched 3 1/3, and got through some decent innings. And Travado takes over here in the 5th and 6th, trying to piece this together after the monster first inning. As this one in for strike one on Derek Hurt, trying to turn around his 0 for 3 here today. Chatting with Vince Manzella of Lucido and Manzella Law Firm here locally in Clinton Township. One is fouled off. So is lacrosse your favorite sport, or?
Well, it was for a time there. It's just, there's not a lot of broadcasts involving lacrosse. So
sure.
I certainly like watching my USPBL baseball, catching it on Facebook and YouTube from home. And I like college football, but it's not looking good for the Big Ten this year. So we might have to take a year off.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough, fall going forward. And who knows what the winter looks like for all these sports as well. It's going to be an interesting time.
Certainly, but I just think a lot of people can crush their honeydew list with all those free Saturday afternoons.
Very true. Yeah, get all the yard work ready for the fall, get the leaves raked up. I've had so many things break in the last 3 weeks, it's not even funny.
Well, if you need a tradesman, I might know one.
1-2 on Hurt. Jordan Finney, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the 6th inning. 11 hits on the board already for the Unicorns, and it'll stay like that at least for one more AB here. So your daughter's birthday here today. She's honored on the scoreboard. What number?
10, double digits.
Awesome, yeah. So getting towards that teenager stage now, huh?
Don't talk. Listen, we were getting along just fine until you have to bring that up to me.
Where does she go to school here locally?
She goes to Miami Elementary. It's part of Chippewa Valley Schools.
Okay, awesome.
So originally when the rescheduled ring ceremony, I was hesitant because you guys said it would be the 28th, which is her birthday, and then it was, bring the whole family and we'll make it a party, and that's what we've done. We even had unicorn cupcakes.
Really?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes, your catering department managed to pull off unicorn cupcakes.
Very cool. I like it. Shout out to those guys down there.
Good job, Nathan.
0-1 on Finney. Here's a swing and a miss. So obviously, you've seen your law firm develop, but you've certainly seen the USPBL develop from your time, in your partnership. Just, this is, something obviously that was made for COVID in terms of the automatic kind of pod system we've had. But it's been fun to watch some of these teams and this league just develop over the years, hasn't it?
It's been really amazing going from 3 teams to 4 pretty seamlessly, and just the ballpark, the whole facility here is so family friendly, and it's so close to home. Get here in 10 minutes, back home in 10 minutes. It's just really awesome, family friendly sports right here in Macomb County.
And we have so many great partners, and we have so many more opportunities certainly now with the broadcast. I mean, we've integrated everything in-game almost to the broadcast now with the expanded coverage and everything going on. But, maybe if there's some partners potentially listening out there who might want to get involved with the USPBL, why should they, in your opinion?
Well, if you're an Oakland or Macomb County business, I think it's a no-brainer. You're located right here on the M59 corridor, draws in normally hundreds of thousands of people from this community, and it is just so family friendly. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to hear that firsthand from one of our fine partners over the last 4 years, as well as this one in for strike one. John Hodo, fresh off a nice play at second base for the Utica Unicorns here. He's also doubled and walked, scored 2 times in this game. He's 1 for 2, recorded as only out in the 3rd. As he whacks that off his back, 2-2. Back-to-back strikeouts here by Anthony Travado He now has 4 of them, 2 looking, 2 swinging. So how do you see, Law in general maybe adjusting even more as we go forward just because of COVID?
Well, I think the big issue is going to be jury trials because you get to face your accuser. You cannot do a Zoom or a virtual jury trial. So we're going to have to revert back to the old way, but it's going to be a new way because of COVID. So I could see doing trials in an auditorium where people are spaced out just to have social distancing.
This one popped up on the first base line. Everybody chasing after it was Barnes, Haffey, and Howard on the right field line and shallow there. 3-2 on John Hodo. You think this is going to change maybe everybody's take in law schools? There are going to be some additional courses how to deal with, something like this maybe?
Well, that's not a bad idea, actually, because the technologies, you have to play catch-up.
Right. 3-2 is spoiled back here by Hodo. Becoming a really energetic addition to this Utica Unicorn squad. They needed a second baseman after that void was there about a month ago after the USPBL made some changes overall with the rosters, but he's done a nice job defensively and starting to pick it up with the bat as well, despite striking out to end the 6th inning. Great job by Anthony Travato as he strikes out 3. And Vince, we thank you so much for stopping by here today and so much for sponsoring our rings that you saw earlier as well.
My pleasure.
Back with more after this.
When you are in need of air conditioning services, turn to the experienced professionals at McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration. Since 1970, we've been delivering high-quality air conditioning installation and repair services. Call for a free estimate today. Let us help you be cool and comfortable. For comprehensive HVAC services, contact McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration today.
Upcoming games brought to you by Motor City Casino Hotel. It's the Diamond Hoppers and the Beavers going at it tomorrow in the double dip. And then the Unicorns and the Mammoths will finish out this week. The Mammoths trying to clinch on to that 4-game winning streak right now.
Well, barring a miracle, we might see that snap tonight, but they've been playing better baseball, so that's the important thing.
YMCA here at the ballpark. Dan's going to get up and do his thing here. Donald Goodson will look to finish off what could be another combined no-hitter. Hensley pitches 5 here tonight. Throws 72. Strikes out the last 2 he faces for a total of 5 Ks here tonight. What'd you think of the stuff he brought?
You know what? It was sort of pedestrian for him, I guess, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, I know how ridiculous that could maybe sound. I don't think it was one of his best outings as far as his overall and command and his stuff. I think he's working on his cutter and his change a little bit, which we certainly saw some good pitches there, some swing and miss on the cutter especially. But it's obviously very good. I don't think it was much different than his other outings, and I think we've seen a couple better, and most of them have been very similar to that one.
Top of the order due up for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's Garrett Kieber, Will Johnson, and Lamar Briggs. Your Zach Hart agency 3 men due up here. We saw Goodson earlier this week. This will be his 10th appearance. Made just 1 start at the beginning of the year before settling into this back-end role after the soreness. 12 innings pitched, 7 hits given up, 4 walks to 17 Ks.
I mean, he's certainly nothing to sneeze at either.
You poking fun at my allergies or what?
No. No, it's just funny that you can go from a Ty Hensley with 5 no-hit innings and then roll out somebody like Don Goodson, who,
and then Nolan Clenny.
Yeah, and, you know, it's just in some ways, Goodson might even be more scary to face than Hensley. It's just depending on what type of hitter you are, I guess. But his changeup is as devastating as Ty's curveball, I think.
Gets swings and misses galore on all his pitches. Now, given the slider is much more of a small sample size, he only throws at 9% compared to the changeup 31%. Slider, he gets swings and misses 30% of the time. Changeup 25, nearly 26, as Barzell going to cruise over to the gap for out number 1, and the combined no-no bid continues. We saw that the first game of the year for this Utica Unicorn staff. Andrew McCoy will get a AB here for Will Johnson. Johnson today 0 for 2, pop out and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Swing and a miss by McCoy. Goodson, in his last appearance on Wednesday, pitched an inning, gave up a hit, no walks, 2 strikeouts. There's the changeup.
Yep.
For the second consecutive pitch. And now McCoy in an 0-2 hole, fresh off the bench. Unfair to face a pitch like that right off the chute. Comes back with the cheese of 94 as Hodo collects out number 2.
Do you think if your manager points at you and says you're going to pinch hit here, is it inappropriate to say no thank you?
You can sigh, but you still have to go up there. Yeah.
It's a tough assignment when you've been sitting there.
Lamar Briggs trying to get the first hits by a Mammoth here tonight. He's 0 for 2. Pair of ground balls to his fellow third baseman Dominic Bethencourt here tonight. Couldn't control the changeup that time as it rides outside.
That one was an exception, but he actually tends to command his changeup better than his fastball even. It seems like he stays more within himself and more in a straight line to the catcher. He doesn't pull off with his head.
One and one on Briggs.
That was nice.
A little bit more steam behind it at 85 as well. Tumbling action.
You can see how steady his head was on that one. Just did a really nice job commanding that down in the zone.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ouch. Another changeup to finish off Lamar Briggs. And a 1-2-3 breeze here for Donald Goodson. It's time for your Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers race, ladies and gentlemen.
Those Motor City wheels are messing around, waiting to get the call to go downtown. La 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 taking some time and having some fun, waiting to get the call that it's time to run. La, la, la.
Holy Hot Rods, it's race time. Chevy Detroit wheels, start your engines.
Well, here they come behind Landon Barnes in the left field gate here.
We got a one-on-one. Oh, okay. I only saw two guys. I thought it was a one-on-one for
we
a
had
second.
3 cars yesterday.
Yeah.
All the fleet out here today.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Corey Vett today.
It must have been in the body shop yesterday, huh, Dan?
I think so.
And look at PD Pickup taking that direct route, maybe cheating on the outside, but he's able to race across the Jimmy John's logo. And the way things are looking, he's going to beat Corey Vett unless we have a late surge like we did yesterday. And there he goes. How about PD Pickup again?
And he waved at somebody, it appeared.
Supercharge put on at the last seconds.
Took time to wave at somebody.
That's your Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers race. Here today, and another flamethrower out there in Dazon Cole. He's the 4th pitcher used by the Mammoths here tonight. So Cole getting his inning of work in here against a pinch hitter in Malik Blaze. He hits for Frankie Luska. Boy, did he have a night.
He did.
3 for 4 with 3 singles, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Also reached on an error.
Are we saying he had 3 hits? I know that the one was questionable as to whether or not it was an error. Was that when I hit the last one? I think when the infielder went out, the outfielder came in, and they kind of collided a little bit.
You know, I didn't check the scoreboard afterwards.
I know the Mammoths have 2 errors today, so I'm not sure if that one got called a hit or an error, but it's a good day for Luska nonetheless.
Let's search back here. And I have an error on the third baseman Briggs, and Curry's at bat in the third, and an error. Are you talking about his first hit or his last hit?
No, I know Luska definitely reached on an error in his first at-bat.
Okay, yeah.
In his most recent at-bat, he hit that blooper into center.
Yeah, so there's another error in my book, and according to the scoreboard, there's only 2, so I'm assuming that was...
must have been a hit, that one.
Yeah, on the Curry ball.
So he had 3 hits then.
Here's the 3-1. This one popped up. Capers. Well, watch it nearly fall in. Huh.
Must be some things happening tonight. Every pop-up has been an adventure.
The wind is a little bit of a factor. It's blowing out to left center, not nearly as much as it was earlier, though. High and away as Blaze is able to coax a walk here. So leadoff man on here in the 7th sets up Dominic Bethencourt. And it'll actually be Irving, who gets an appearance here. Marcus Irving, one of your few taxi squad guys left.
Oh.
He jackknifes that one to third base. Off the bat at 90 miles an hour. First and second. To begin things here for the Unicorns on the 7th.
Well, as you know, that's my favorite approach for a pinch hitter is go up there and hack early. Get the bat off your shoulder. First one you like, let it fly.
Coley Curry, a walk back in the first inning, came around to score. Reached on an error in the third and also drove in a run and a ground ball the first. So not, you know, something that you're going to write home about necessarily on the line, but he's been productive today.
Mm-hmm. Nearly every Unicorn has to some degree.
Popped it up. Briggs has a lot of motor, but you would have really had to turn on the jets to get that one. So back on the air tomorrow at 5:20 p.m. Doubleheader. 5 7 inning here in the USPBL. Been that way all season long. Here's the 1-1.
That was a nice looking pitch.
Yeah, slider in for strike 2. See you later. First strikeout for Dazon Cole here in the 7th. Second time that Curry has struck out in this game, the 17th time on the year. He's now 12 walks to 17 strikeouts on the ratio. Here comes Nick Snyder. Single for Snyder in the first, walked in the third. A pop out and a strikeout in the 5th. Slider bends inside at 78. He came up with the bases loaded in the first. He was the first man to face the bases loaded in this game. There's been plenty of them.
Oh, yes. A lot of ducks on the pond today.
Got himself 2 RBIs. There's a zinger of a fastball at 93 inside, 2-0. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring the call here tonight. So glad he could tune in. Started with a bang in the first inning. The Unicorns able to add one more run in the 5th. But other than that, a good job by Glover, Travato, and Dazon Cole to calm it down. It has not happened without base runners, as you see again here in the 7th, though. They've had quite a few pressure pitches all night long. Waddled to Cole for the second out. So 2 more runners in scoring position here. And Jordan Hovey, maybe the last AB in order here for the Utica Unicorns tonight. So, you'd think a 4-game winning streak snapped here tonight by the Westside Woolly Mammoths, but the fact that they're able to put together a 4-game winning streak the way this season started for them does raise a red flag, and I think it shows that they're going to be competitive going down the stretch here.
Oh, absolutely. I think you can see the way that their lineup is starting to get better. You know, tonight's just a little bit of an exception.
And we have not seen a Tasker Strobel anything like tonight, so I'm sure he'll bounce back next game, maybe coming out of the pen from here on out. We'll see how they treat it, but sure. There's the 4-3 ground out. So after the leadoff walk and single, Cole is able to get 3 straight outs. To Leo Ortel for Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Okay, fans, it's that time. Sponsored by Genesis Credit Union. It's time for the 7th inning stretch and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Let's hear you sing. Take me out to the ball game. Town. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you, fans, for joining along in the 7th inning stretch. Sponsored by Genesis Credit Union.
You are doing things involved with your major. And they really do a good job with finding professors that not only know what they're talking about, but know how to teach what they're talking about.
Here, the professor cares about your success and is willing to work for it with you.
You get the intensive care from each professor. You get the interactions with different students both in and outside of your major.
There's always something happening on campus. There's always something to do. Go visit campus and really experience everything that campus has to offer. Once you do that, it makes up your mind for you.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Last year, Belfour did 114,000 different jobs around the world. We've been to floods, fires, tornado sites, earthquakes, where people have lost everything. Yes, your homes can be rebuilt, and yes, your businesses will be rebuilt, but most importantly, your lives will be rebuilt. There's nothing that we cannot fix, and we believe that.
It's our pictures.
To me, that's Belfour. At Belfour, we're restoring more.
And we've got the closer on to finish this one out, Nolan Clenny, who has a shot at another combined no-hitter tonight for the Unicorns. This would be the third combined no-hitter of the season for the Unicorns. 4 total no-hitters, of course, with the one Ty Hensley solo. But Ty involved potentially, knock on wood, in all 4.
And that's something?
It's almost becoming, how could something like that become commonplace? But it's almost feeling that way.
Fitting that Nolan Clenny might just close it out. Throwing partner with Ty Hensley on off days. Clenny's ERA almost as good, .89 through 20 and a third innings thus far. 5 walks, 29 strikeouts. He'll face Capers, Olin, and Haffey to try to make it happen here. Here's the 0-1. And that might not break it. Barzell for the first out. Five strikeouts for Hensley through 5. 1 in the 1 inning pitched by Donald Goodson here today. That's 8 straight outs now going back to the 4th inning when Hensley got a line out to the third baseman. He surrendered 3 walks here tonight. That one in for strike 1 at 93 miles an hour. Slider will break it up.
Wow.
Alec Oland has reached every time he's come to the plate in a different fashion. Error, walk, and now a single. Didn't even hit it 70 miles an hour, but just got enough of it.
Just enough.
83 mile per hour slider off the arm of Nolan Clenny. He's given up a few more base runners lately. Fly ball to right field, back towards the stage, and gone! Ross Haffey says no on the shutout either.
That was sort of an exclamation point on breaking up the no-hitter, and that was a no-doubter to the opposite field.
His 4th homer of the year. He wasn't going to allow his hot streak to end either. Here's Landon Barnes now in a 9-2 game. Fouled back.
Sort of a tough spot here for a closer like Clenny. You know, you got a huge lead here. You're used to being in tighter ball games. It's only human to lose your concentration a little bit.
The 3rd and 4th runs he's given up in the last 2. In his last 10, has now given up 5. Had several stretches there of no runs. Hodo out of his reach.
Now this feels like a hit parade all of a sudden.
It does, doesn't it?
You know, we forget sometimes the one of those combined no-hitters was, I think I described it as being a Unicorns, but it was actually in the All-Star game.
Right.
The one combined no-hitter. I think we forget that sometimes. Because they've all started with Ty. and it was basically Unicorns throwing that. Although I think Dugan Darnell was in there for an inning, if I recall correctly.
It's in for strike 1 on Keandre Jones. He came in a pinch hit for Isaiah Cullum in the 5th inning. inside at 85. Here's the 1-1 now. Chopper to Bethencourt. Feeds a second in time. Over to first. Erased. 5-4-3 on the double play. The second turn by the Unicorns defense here tonight. And they're able to hold off any more runs.
It's a nifty little double play to end it there, but certainly put the no-no out of reach with authority. The Woolly Mammoths did, and nice to see Ross Haffey stay hot too with the big blow right at the end.
Well, lost obviously in the huge first inning for the Utica Unicorns here tonight offensively is the decent job, I guess, that the bullpen did. Dante Glover, Anthony Travato, Dizon Cole only giving up one additional run here tonight. They weren't without any stressful pitches as the Unicorns still got some base runners on, but overall a good job to settle things down because this game, I mean, the way it started, who knows where it could have gone.
I think Travato especially continued to impress. His slider is pretty nasty, especially against right-handers darting away from him, and that's somebody to keep an eye on. Tasker Strobel, hopefully it was just a little bit of a blip in his season. You know, it was his first start. He's been really strong coming out of the bullpen situationally, and hopefully we look back on this as just an unusual blip.
Well, stick with us here on the USPBL Network. We'll have a special moment from the United Shore Media Desk in our Auto Lab post-game show. When we get back, stick around for that.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
Order Jimmy John's and we'll bring it to your car door. Leave it at your front door or have it ready for you at our drive-thru. Just use jimmyjohns.com or our app to tell us what sandwiches, drinks, chips, and cookies you're hungry for. When you want it and how you want it. We're ready.
Looking for a great rate on a new vehicle? Introducing our credit union's Drive promotion with rates as low as 1.89% and no payments for 90 days. Or refinance and save on your current auto loan with our 1% lower guarantee. You can now get pre-approved and close a loan remotely with our convenient online application process. Stop in today or visit ourcuonline.org/drive to drive away happy.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
From the very get-go in your major, you are doing things involved with your major. And they really do a good job with finding professors that not only know what they're talking about, but know how to teach what they're talking about.
Here, the professor cares about your success and is willing to work for it with you.
You get the intensive care from each professor. You get the interactions with different students both in and outside of your major.
There's always something happening on campus. There's always something to do. Go visit campus and really experience everything that campus has to offer. Once you do that, it makes up your mind for you.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Last year, Belfour did 114,000 different jobs around the world. We've been to floods, fires, tornado sites, earthquakes, where people have lost everything. Yes, your homes can be rebuilt, and yes, your businesses will be rebuilt, but most importantly, your lives will be rebuilt. There's nothing that we cannot fix, and we believe that.
It's our pictures.
To me, that's Belfour. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
Although Detroit Mercy really models a value-based education, they focus a lot on service, which provides so many different experiences and opportunities that allows us to tie in everything we learn, how to apply that outside of the class.
There are a number of different programs that we're a part of to help bring the community back and revitalize the city of Detroit. Doing service with the community really helps bring Detroit Mercy outside of the gates and to everyone.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless.
Another good victory for the Unicorns here tonight, 9-2 overall. And our Auto Lab post-game show here from the United Shore Media Desk, alongside with our player of the game here today, Ty Hensley. Ty, how are you today?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. It's good to see you throw almost a combined no-hitter again as a team. Donald Goodson with a nice inning coming after you, and Nolan Clenny, the hot Ross Halfney. He's just rolling
he's swinging
pretty
the bat
well
really well right now.
Yeah. So what what'd you like about today? I know kind of talking off air, not too much of a fan on your end of the 3 walks, but that's something that you're trying to work on and maybe just hone in with 2 outs, right?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I just really didn't like a whole lot from today. I thought it was a very, to put it blunt, very poor job of executing on my end. Threw way too many pitches, got behind way too many people, didn't command the breaking ball. Fastball command was very spotty. About the only pitch I could have any sort of success with today was a cutter, and obviously they don't have any left-handers, so I couldn't really integrate the changeup very much. But no, I think kind of got away from my game plan a little bit. Tried to do too much. Definitely some things I want to kind of take away and go work on going into this next week. So
I know the curveball is something you didn't quite like last outing. What did you think of it here tonight?
More or less the same. I think it was better last outing than it was today. But no, no excuse. Got to get back to work and get it right for next week. So
playing 5 innings tonight was kind of what you were dealing with, right? And something we were kind of unsure of. But that was the plan here tonight. And overall, I know you've gone through the DVS plenty of times. Obviously, you've been here for a full year last year and a little bit the year before. But how many tweaks are you making at this point? Or is it just looking at the really fine points of your game in terms of what you change?
I think at this point, I've worked with Justin, Allen, and Shane a lot, and obviously I'm not young. I'm 27, so I think at this point I've done enough with them to where I can recognize what I'm doing wrong and kind of fix it myself and hopefully fix it from pitch to pitch. But like I thought tonight just was a good example of like I didn't make those adjustments that I needed to make, and I just kind of let too many things compound with each other as opposed to kind of, making pitch-to-pitch adjustments. So,
did you think about going back out to the bullpen after that long inning by your offense, or not really?
Oh, the first inning? Yeah, I went back out there and threw like 3 pitches. But by the time I got all the way out there and started throwing I threw like 3 pitches, and we already had like an out or 2. So I was like, well, just go back there and go get ready to go. So
it is a big team day, though. I mean, your team, puts up 8 runs in the first inning. This offense,
game's over, inning 1. So
this offense has been looking for something like that.
Absolutely. I think I think you just hit the nail on the head there. It was good to see everybody just kind of, I mean, really from top to bottom contribute and swing the bat well. So yeah, it was really nice to see everybody kind of go up to the plate with an approach and execute tonight. So
I know originally you weren't able to be a part of the ring ceremony, but here it is. So check it out.
I haven't seen it yet.
Tell us what you think. 2019 champions here at the USPBL.
That's really cool. Oh, this is mine.
It is,
I didn't know. Wow. That's really, really nice. That's cool. They did a good job with these. Oh, they got the score in the middle. That's neat.
Hey, you were able to pitch 7 innings in that game. Just what do you remember overall about the championship last year?
I threw 9 innings the game before, and I mean, it was just definitely one of my most memorable games because it's the first professional game I've ever, I got to throw the entire game. So,
sure.
Yeah, it was fun to. I wish I could have participated in the last game, but it was fun to watch everybody else go out there. And the dog pile and the celebration was pretty fun too. So
yeah,
absolutely.
It was good. What do you think your team in general needs to do to maybe make that push here into September and into the playoffs again to fully get ready for it?
I don't think anything different really. I think it's just more so going out there and trying to be comfortable with your approach and having fun and loosening it up and just doing what you're capable of doing. So.
Well, Ty, good to catch up with you here today. Look forward to your next start. And, not a bad start by the offense here today. No. I think you'll take that every start, right?
Every time, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, a big 9-2 victory for his squad here tonight and for the Unicorns as they stay atop the USPBL standings. Double Dip tomorrow will be on the air at 5:20 p.m. here on the USPBL Network. Have a great night, everybody.